Is there a perfect ready position if a threat is near? How should you be holding your gun? We'll talk about that in just a minute, but first I'll let you know we have a gun giveaway going on. It's happening right now. It is absolutely free, but it ends really soon. So click the link in the description. You can learn which brand new gun you could win. Now let's talk about ready positions. Is there a perfect ready position if a threat is near? If you think you're going to need to use your gun, and there's lots of them that are out there, the most common is that low ready out in front of you so you can just come up on target just like that. And that's typically a very good position to be in if you think you're going to need to engage that target quickly. It's a very short movement from low ready to on target, and muzzle's pointing in that direction. You can be firing as you're coming up if you need to put rounds on that target quickly. There's a couple other positions out there, and people discuss them, and lots of people will deride them, and I'm sure that the discussion points on the comments on this video are going to be all over the place. Next up is that Hollywood ready position. Now, we call it Hollywood because that's where this came from, so that the camera could see the gun. Now, is there any major benefit to this position? There might be one benefit, and that is if you don't know what is below you in a low ready position. Remember, muzzle management means we should always have the firearm pointed in what we would call the safest position, that if the gun is fired, that you're doing no unintended injury and minimal property damage. So consider the fact that if you're upstairs, you're in an apartment, and there is an apartment below you, and you have your gun pointed down, you could be firing at the floor, and that bullet could pass through, possibly, and hit somebody down below. And you're in the upstairs apartment, there's nothing above you, maybe a high ready position, not quite the Hollywood position next to your head, but maybe a high ready position is better, as long as you can maintain effective muzzle management so you're not pointing your firearm at anyone. So again, don't point your gun at anything you don't wish to destroy. Now there is the high center chest. You got that gun right in front of your chest, right up here. And again, that's a quick action, quick reaction. If you don't want to get that gun too far out in front of you at the low ready position, you can come from this high center chest position and drive the gun out and fire. That's a workable position. Some people don't train for that, and honestly, I kind of like the gun having it up here, but you could run into trouble in a very extreme close quarters battle situation if somebody gets that gun and presses it against your chest. And that's also with that position Sewell, pointing it straight south like this, rolling your hands over into that shooting position. If somebody's close enough to pin that gun against your chest, you're going to have to use some hands-on, some really good weapon retention techniques to make sure you keep control of your gun and get it on target. Now, if you truly believe that there is a possibility you might need your gun, but you don't want the whole world to see it, that covert carry position, if you draw your gun out of the holster, keep it behind your leg or behind your back so that others can't see it, that's a solid position if you need that covert option right there. But understand, this is not a fast, nor it is an accurate position, nor is it an easy position to defend if you're close to people. This is if you have your gun out, and honestly, when I think about using that covert position, what immediately comes to mind for me is if you are witnessing an active shooter situation, or you believe there's some sort of active shooter situation where you need to have your gun out, but you don't want to draw a lot of attention to yourself while you're assessing what's going on out in front of you. Then you can come up to either the chest or the low ready and get ready to engage that target if you need to. But that covert position is just so you can hide your gun and you don't have to draw your gun to get it into action. So the draw could take a little bit more time. If you need to pull that gun out, put it in a covert position, look around and assess what's going on there. Again, it's not an easy position to defend if you're going to do any kind of weapons retention or if you're in a close combat situation. This is more for assessing what's going on out around you. So my suggestion would be the high center chest ready position, or the standard low ready position that puts you out with the gun out in front of you and you can just bring it up on target like that. The others have all sorts of problems that go along with them, and they make it a little bit more difficult for you to retain your gun or get it on target. Want to know the 3 biggest mistakes when carrying a handgun? Then click on the video next to me to reveal all 3 mistakes. Mistake number 2 may shock you. Everybody has their own cardinal rules for what they're going to do when they're carrying a gun, but right now I'm going to give you 3 things that you must never do